Welcome to the Season Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast. It's Tuesday, but it's not Tuesday night because I'm not live. That's right. I'm still on vacation. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying these episodes. We still have new episodes of everything coming out more. Head over to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit likes, follow, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. Make sure you hit that bell so you know when great shows like this and others are coming out as well. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining in. If you guys are interested, shirts like this and other really cool movie designs are available over at snobsmerch.com. If you use snobs as a promo code snobs, you get 10% off of your order. All right, let's get started. I have a great guest tonight, and we're going to talk about things that maybe we don't like so much that go on in movies, but you know him well. He's one of my guest co-hosts often, but really at this point, let's just call him a co-host. And then he's the man, he's the myth, he's the legend over in Popcorn Pints and Horror. It is Sir Sturdy himself. Welcome, my friend.
How's it going, man? I love being here. I gotta say this to you people. I know this is pre-recorded, but I hope you really enjoy the Sturdy Takeover Mick at Night Friday. Yep, I'm doing that. I'm doing one of those weird future past things. You're welcome.
So last Friday, if you hadn't seen it, Sturdy took over Mick at Night. You guys better go check it out.
Yeah, what happened? I don't remember. Or I don't know yet. Which one is it?
As of yesterday, when we recorded that. Dude, go check out Mick at Night if you haven't watched it, if you're listening or watching this at a point. But we're having a good time with it for sure. And I'm sure I know it went perfectly. That's how I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it.
Oh, it's going to be something. It's going to be something. It was something, and it's going to be something. That's all I'm going to say, people. Just be there for the surprise. You know how I roll. Yes, just be there for it. Just be there for it. For the after the fact. For those of you who don't watch it live.
I anxiously await to see what happens. I cannot wait. It's going to be amazing for sure. But this is the Scene Snobs Podcast. We're here every week. You can check us out. You can listen to us on any podcast platform. You can watch us over on our YouTube or listen to us there as well. Guys, I am so excited to have Sturdy here. Sturdy, I want to talk about some things, but we were having a really good conversation off camera where I was like, we got to stop this and we got to get into it. So do you want to relay a little bit like what we were talking about and what we were getting into?
I do. Could you just give me just a brief, tiny head start, and then I got it.
I love it. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. No. Okay, so we were kind of going over different things we didn't like. We're talking about our main topic tonight, and it kind of slipped into a little bit more about what we don't like, things like that. So if you don't remember, that's fine. Let's get started. We'll get into the conversation. But I do love the fact that you don't remember.
I knew it was with horror. It's just we just talked about so many things, and then boom.
Yeah, we were just talking more about the horror genre specifically and what we don't like, and kind of how they play. Like, we talked about how they treat African Americans in horror films and fat people. And sort of that, and like it was kind of the way it was kind of spawning off.
Oh yes, basically the same characters, and in a sense of the comedic relief, sometimes not the brightest, always the first to die. When I feel like we have the most sense, like, listen, we would never put ourselves in these situations. For one, I'm gonna run and take off, and for two, I'm assuming someone that heavy set is gonna be like, I'm not gonna go here where I have no way to escape. I'm not gonna run. I'm gonna have to stand and fight. So I'm just not gonna go.
Yeah, see you guys later.
I'm gonna chill with 30.
My knees don't work. In fact, Sturdy, next horror movie we are dealing with, I say we just go off on our own. We break the rule of no splitting up. We're like, well, listen, we're gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
Now you guys just won't know when it will happen. So we just leave and just take a walk.
We're going for a walk. We're going to get, we're going to do something we want to do. That's it. We're going to watch here. Okay. I remember briefly what we were talking about with the horror stuff. So as far as like with movies go, right. We're talking about like a horror podcast and all that. And like how I try to, be a little different doing, I dig in the crates more. I'm not saying others don't, but I dig in the crates a lot more. That Walmart bin or the recycle bin type of deal. That's the term I used earlier. Dig in that crate and you're like, oh my gosh, this movie, I've never heard of it, never seen it, I've never even heard it being talked about.
Yeah.
That's the ones that I like to dig for and go for, not just the big names, just because you can find a lot of freaking gems with those films. A shit ton of those gems.
Yeah.
And they're overlooked. I feel like, they're overlooked as far as like, say, like you find a movie, right? Like I got this one right here, Axe Grinder 666. independent horror film. Literally just had it sitting right over here. And there's a lot of people that just because it's an indie film, just because it's not going to, you know, their movie theater, just because it's not Hollywood, they won't watch it. And that is something I think people are making a humongous mistake on. Humongous mistake. I haven't watched this movie yet. I'm going to watch this movie, and I'm going to reach out to these people and get them on my podcast. That's another story. But you miss a lot of fun films. Even if we're not the best, you miss a lot of fun films just because you're like, oh, I can't watch that. I can't watch that. It's just like you always have to have the name brand. Name brand ain't always the best. Name brand is not always the best, people, and that's something we got to kind of put into it and give these other movies an opportunity.
Yeah, and you put it perfectly, and I think my take on it was a little more controversial, and I think my take on podcasting in general is a lot more controversial. It's almost like this is an industry, and I just don't think it's for everyone. I realize we live in a time right now where anyone and everyone can do it, and again, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. We just happen to live in that time. It's almost like when everybody wanted to go out west because there was new opportunity, because there was just an influx on the east, they all ushered out west, and what happened? It became oversaturated. And that's all that's happening in this industry, correlating it to history a little bit. But like this industry, it's flooded. It's just flooded, but it's flooded by people who just realize that for most of the time, it's just a hobby for them. You know, I like watching movies, and everybody else is doing a podcast. I should do a podcast too. That's great. And just because everybody's doing a podcast doesn't mean everybody you have the right to do a podcast. Absolutely. And there should always be an independent circuit, which we're on.
I know exactly what Mick's saying.
But this is our business. Like this is business for me. I don't walk away from this and be like, this is the only thing I'm passionate about. No, I'm passionate about lots of things. And that way of thinking when I was 20 years old, and I was like, I'm going to be a screenwriter and director and blah, blah, blah. And then I went to film school and realized, holy shit, there's a lot more to this, and it's got to be treated like a business or you'll go crazy. You know, and I have, for me, I have lots of controversial picks, especially when it comes to Hollywood. And you know, I stay within my wheelhouse with my controversy. You know, like it's not like I'm running out there and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna, you know, sometimes I'll say something that I feel politically that's more of a feeling than anything. But like my takes are mostly movie based. So like when I find that I'm offending people with my way of thinking, because I'm very open-minded about a lot of things. I'm not a staunch conservative or Republican, but I have friends who are. So rather than be a dickhead and be like, well, you're wrong and I hate you, I try to be open and be like, well, all right, why? And if I understand their reasoning why, and it's not for somebody or this, that, and the other thing. So like, there's no real controversy there. I like talking to people. I like learning from people, and I don't want to hate people off the bat. But when it comes to movies, I have my views. And working in the industry and a lot of different things, and how the industry and the indie industry works and things like that. Like, so I have a lot of views on things that will either piss off people that work in the industry in Hollywood and play by the rules and stuff like that. And a lot of people in the indie world would be really pissed off. And and that same thing can be said for the podcast. As much as the Wild West as it is now, and it's so flooded, and we have so much, and I promise I'm getting to my point, people. I have probably, because this is my industry now and I work in it, I have a lot of controversial feelings on this too. And when I say controversial, I know people are just like, well, what is it? Race? Is it this? Is it? No. It's I feel like if you treat this like a hobby, you probably shouldn't be doing it because it's a business. And it is a business, and it was a business. I've been doing it 12 years. It's always been treated like a business. Yes, people who have a hobby or a passion for it get into it. And then the ones who realize, all right, it's business. I gotta go along with it and how this works and what the ultimate thing is. But 2020 threw the shift, and that was that. And now we're kind of regulating again. I'm glad it happened, because there was bound to be a bubble, but I think that bubble's bursting now, and a lot of it's washing away. And the reason I keep bringing it back in, and I'm targeting it towards you, and this is ultimately like a very long compliment for you, that's the thing I love about your show. I love horror. I love ingesting horror. I talk about horror on my show, but I'm not a horror channel or guy. Like, in fact, you're my horror guy. You and Jason are my horror guys on the channel. So it's, as much as I love it and I want to talk about it, I want to be a part of it, I don't have that show. I don't have that, like, there's no set focus. You do. So I like listening to podcasts or watching podcasts that focus on that. And there's some really good, great, even horror podcasts out there.
Agreed. Amazing one.
Those are the ones And I do believe that your show, Horror with Sir Sturdy, I'm saying it out loud, is one of those ones you should consider that. And I do feel a lot of people do. You have a good base that really care. And I watch your show. I actually, like, I don't watch religiously everything. I'll be honest. Like there are certain shows, even friends of ours, who like I can't watch it every week because I can't keep up with everything.
It's too tough, man. Like it's tough. It's really tough in that sense because it's like I want to listen to other shows. I want to listen to more of my friends' shows, but it's like you listen to yours. You got to do what you got to do to get you prepared for yourself and your whatever you got to do throughout the day and all that. So I get it. I get it 1,000,000,000%. 1,000,000,000,000%.
Yeah, so for me coming in and watching your show, and the reason one of the things to even go to this point of what I don't like about certain podcasts and kind of correlated with the movies is you were doing different things. Now this year, like we were talking a lot, and you had some great ideas, and I think you really ran with them, and they went fantastically. So Freddy vs. Jason, that's 9-10 weeks of content right there, and it was knocked out of the park, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that's never been done before where like each movie is, but I've never seen it. And if I've never seen it, not a lot of people are doing it. But I know what I have seen, especially let's talk about this October. Now, mind you, October is our big month. And the reason I say this is because I am such a big horror fan. Our month is pretty much dedicated every year to horror. And like we focus on horror and we love it. And so when I go and I'm looking for new shows to talk about or things like that or content, every horror podcast that I kind of come across, big ones, little ones, all around, every level, are talking about the same things. I don't want to hear about Halloween anymore, unless it's a fresh perspective. Somebody who's never seen it before. You know, I'm fine with it, never seen it before sort of one, because it is new, it is fresh.
Yeah,
something with, if you're going to talk about Freddy and Jason, do it like you did. I don't need another review on Friday the 13th Part 6.
And
go ahead, please.
I was gonna say with that though, that's one reason a couple of reasons. I did it one because I really did want to go through like the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and I was like, I haven't seen it in I don't know how long as far as going through the whole entire franchise. I haven't done it a ton of times. And then I was talking about it, and I believe honestly I came up with this idea thinking about it like earlier this year, maybe even last year. I was talking to shout out to James and Chris. I was talking to them about it. I was like, I might just do those two together. That way I can just knock them both out at the same time, as well as because I'm never gonna turn down watching Friday the 13th. I'm never gonna do that. But I'm like, I've reviewed it before. Why not do it like this? See which franchise really is better. And for me, I lean towards Jason more still. For me, but it was a fun thing to do, and it was just something different to kind of change it for myself because I'm like, it's like you're saying, you see everybody doing the same type of with movie podcasts, whether it's horror or not. But I'm just stick with horror because that's what I do. Well, for one of my shows, and you see the same stuff. You see like when a new movie drops, and I guess that's all around. But like, say what new horror movie's coming out? The Thanksgiving movie. I know when that drops, everybody's gonna be talking about. I'm gonna be talking about it. No, I'm not actually. No, I'm not. I
have an idea for that.
I'm listening,
and I can say it here because this isn't going to happen until next week, and you can start planning it. And I've already said it, so it's forced or sturdy. You should do a Thanksgiving special, if not on Thanksgiving, the night before, right? A Wednesday night for Thanksgiving, and get a bunch of us to do it. But we all have to bring something to, like, not maybe eat, but like something like we have Thanksgiving dinner together.
I like it.
You know what I mean?
I love it.
And then so Sir Sturdy Thanksgiving, we just all chill, we'll eat, and we'll review the movie.
Boom. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna not only agree to that, because that's easy to do. Yeah. I'm gonna make it a tradition. It's gonna be along with the day after Thanksgiving, Tuesday, which you already know, everybody who watches my show, Tuesday, that week of Thanksgiving, that's what I call the week of Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving now. It's been that since I started watching that movie. But the week of Thanksgiving, it's gonna be that Tuesday, watching Thanksgiving 1 and 3. And I hope to get new eyes on it so they can come and talk about it on the pod and have some fun. And then that Wednesday, watch the movie Thanksgiving, have a great time with some great friends, some great people, have some snacks, whatever. And why not? Why not do something like that? And that's another thing I love about this whole podcasting. That's positive about the podcasting is from the crew that I, Mick, Chris, Jason, and everybody else. There's a bunch of us, too many to name, and I'm sorry. But is like how we connect so well, and how it's just like, yo, let's just all just hang out and just do this. And honestly, people, work with other shows. I know we're supposed to be talking about movies and stuff, but seriously, work with other shows that you're cool with and all that. Why? It makes you a better podcaster. How? Because you're having all these conversations with different minds. You can come up with different ideas with each other, and you're not just talking the same. I mean, yeah, we're talking with the same circle or whatever, but it's not always the same. Like, I don't always know what Mick's going to feel in movies. He doesn't always know how I'm going to feel in movies, and vice versa. And I think that's dope. And, with the rest of us. And then we come up with these, and there's movies that all of us pull out. Like, yo, come check this out. Love it or hate it, check it out. fine. It's you gotta
I would
open up.
argue. I would argue only one point in that, though, is like you were saying, it's like, it's always good because you at least get a different perspective. And yeah, that's great. But like sort of adding to that point I was talking about earlier about like too many people talking about the same things is that we're not getting new insights on anything. We're getting literally it's older podcasters or even like video content creators who are horror based, who kind of revisit the well because that's a popular thing. Like, listen, don't get me wrong, you have to run a channel, right? So on your show, you need to talk about the big ones. You need to talk about Freddie, Jason, all their movies, stuff like that. How do you do that? To me, it's create other content. To me, like we do with Discovering Horror, we do with other things. You create that other content. You take those movies that everyone wants to hear about and talk about, and as a content creator say, okay, everyone talks about these goddamn movies, everyone talks about them so goddamn much, and there's new horror podcasters being woken up every day who are doing the same thing. And in reality, it's like I need to take what I should be doing is taking these characters and what can I create that's new for horror fans. We need to, like, as podcasters, and it's not just horror but everything across anything you create anything, we need to stop asking what's everyone else doing and how can I compete, like what do I need to create to compete. And we need to start realizing, okay, even if you have one viewer religiously coming to your show every week, what does your viewer want? What does your audience want? Like everybody here, I try to encourage, like, message me or comment, whatever else. Tell me what you think. If you don't like a movie, like, tell me what you want. Don't give me topics. Maybe don't give me movies to review, which is okay too. Throw them out. Like, I love that stuff too, but no, not everybody is. But what do you want? Like, when you're listening to this show right now, I want to know, what do you want? And so I have to start thinking like that. It can't even wait for the answer and then do it. I have to start thinking about it. Who's my audience? Who's watching? Generally, and like you have to put out feelers. Like, okay, how many shows have I put out that didn't work and I had to take them away or cancel them or whatever it is? And how many do I keep throwing out there? And no, I keep tweaking or keep doing these things. The problem with it is you have people who want to go out there and talk about the same shit because it's a hobby for them. And then when you're putting out content that works, it's like it's getting drowned out, like our Discovering Horror show. Like I think it was actually doing pretty good, so like, and it sounds so boastful and I hate it. But what I'm saying is I was afraid that was going to get drowned out because everybody's talking about the top horror movies. But this wasn't, I had to trust my audience is ultimately what I had to come back to. And I was worried it was going to get drowned out for a mass audience. Like, okay, maybe new horror fans will get into it. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But does my audience like it? And if my audience likes it, there's going to be room to grow. And I think that's the problem with this industry. We want the Mr. Beast numbers. That's unattainable. We're never going to get them. And even if we are, it ain't going to happen in the next year, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you are in this right now, we're in our salad days. Like, we have to get through this, make it a real industry, make sure that there is some sort of gatekeeping in place. That's like, okay, you can be an indie podcaster all you want. There is the freedom to do it. But if you want that next tier, you want to get in there and do this, you got to earn it. You got to put it through. I think that's where a lot of people get lost in it. Like, this is, again, our business. You've been doing this how many years? I've been doing this how many years? And
I wouldn't even
I
was going to say, I wouldn't even necessarily call that gatekeeping. It's just working hard and trying to evolve and be different from everybody else, to be seen, be heard, and just be the best you can be with that. And and this is why I was saying with working with other shows and stuff, like creating a community of other content creators, because you understand each other more. Don't get me wrong. I can go to my wife and ask for ideas, but she doesn't get it like Mick does. I'm sure you can go to your wife and get ideas, but she may not get it like, say, Chris or Jason does, as far as that goes. So when we bounce ideas off of each other, we always do this. Like, we may have ideas, right? Great ideas. And it's like, yo, Mick, this will probably work way better for you than my audience. And vice versa. Mick's gave me tons of ideas and I'm just loving it. And that's why I'm saying do that, because it helps you evolve. It helps you not stay the same as everyone else. Stay the same as far as, or just stay the same as what you're already doing. Stay the same as yourself. You kind of evolve. You're getting some more ideas. And it may be an idea you may have had buried in the back of your head, but you didn't have the confidence to bring it out. It's just like, okay, now this person's saying it. And not only do they watch my show, not only they're an awesome content creator, they come on my show and I'm doing this idea. And guess what? It freaking works. And now it's flowing easy for me. Now it's flowing easier for me with certain things. So it's just one of those things where it's like, you just go out there and do it. Yes. Like, I'm in the middle. Like, I understand podcasting can be a hobby for people. Cool. In the business, which I'm trying to grow towards that. more or less. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So it is a business in my eyes as well as Mick's eyes.
Mhm.
And it's something that like that 2020 boom that you're talking about. It's so funny because like in 2020, I already had my show going for I think 3 years in 2020 because I'm going on actually this will be 27
6 or 7, right?
this will be 6 years. I'm going on 6 now. Going on 6 this January 1st. But and I just like I was just talking to Chris about this yesterday, Worst Name Gamer. Yesterday or the day before, I was like, yo, I was just smiling and laughing. He's like, what's up? I was like, I'm so proud of myself. And he was like, why? I was like, I've never said that about myself ever. I was like, because I was just looking at the very first episode of my podcast I did with my brother Henry, which the very first episode is called Zombie Boners, which my brother named it that. Go back and listen to it. I don't even remember why. But just going back from there to where my podcast was being uploaded onto YouTube via Podbean, it was just audio. Nothing wrong with that. If you do an audio podcast, there's nothing wrong with that. But hear me out. In 2020 is where I really went to the whole visuals and the whole live thing and haven't looked back since, and I'm glad I did. And it's just like that right there. I was just like, look, I see where, because I seen where they were going already. I mean, before then, people were doing visual podcasts, and a lot of bigger name podcasts that I would watch anyway. That I was a fan of, and I wish I would have started my show earlier, years earlier. But besides the point, and I'm like, I know where this is going, so I have to, and I want to, because I love the visual stuff. I love watching video podcasts because you get more feeling out of it. You know what I mean? You get the laughing, you get the jokes, and you get it more because of body language. Body language sells a lot. Like I can listen to a podcast, right, and laugh my ass off if there's something funny. But I can laugh 20 times harder from watching that, seeing their body language, seeing the facial, all that stuff. It's putting yourself out there more. And it's fun. But I will say this, people, take it serious. Like, yes, you see me on camera joking, goofing off all the time, but I work my ass off as far as I know some people, oh, you're just watching a movie and blah, blah, blah. But I have to sit up and watch these damn movies. I have over 400 episodes out. And the majority, not every single one of them, but the majority of them are from reviewing freaking movies.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean,
doing it, and what I want to say to people, when you do these type of things, be yourself. Even if you have your character, like I do with Sir Sturdy, McManhattan, all that stuff, or whatever you want to call it, be yourself. Don't watch my podcast. Don't watch Mick's podcast. Now, let me finish before I say this. Watch our shows, but don't copy our shows because you can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's ultimately like it's easy to.
I don't mean like borrowing ideas and all that. I mean as far as like the personality. Like, oh my gosh, this person's acting like this. They're getting a bunch of views, but I'm gonna do this. Don't do that because it's not gonna work for you. It's not your personality. Be you. Be you. Be you.
Well, there's something about being genuine, dude. Like, there's definitely something about being genuine that really, like, you will make or break your experience in this, I think.
Yeah.
Because when you sell yourself, like, everybody does the same shit. Don't get me wrong. And it's the same with movies. Like, we see the same shit all the time, constantly being copied over and over again.
Yes.
And I think my biggest issue with when you saturate the market like this is it sullies the beautiful things that come out, like the stuff that people are really putting in and working at. And listen, don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying our friend group are the majority. Fuck no, there's hundreds of thousands of people out there who are legitimate. This is an industry, but there's millions of podcasts. But no, again, people like hear this, like there's maybe 700,000 active podcasts. You know, I don't have the exact number, but it's around that. And there's like almost 4 million podcasts listed. So that tells me how many people treated this as like I was bored, wanted to get into it, and it's never going away. So now it just sullies the market. And then you have, but add on top of that all the other content creation that goes on. I love the podcast and I love making videos. I love doing it all. So I love when I see, especially young people. I think young people have a proclivity to do it. Everybody wants to be famous. I ain't got no interest in that. I just want to create. That's it. I want to entertain and create. I love doing those things. But and to kind of correlate this into the movie topic we were getting into, for me, it's like if there's one beautiful film comes out, right, and it's one that everybody's flocking to, I do think it gets sullied when you have a market of that is now going to push out 20 other films that look and feel like this, but don't have that same beauty.
Yeah,
it's just to market what's what they're covering and you know the subject they're covering, and it's like I think that sullies a good story, you know. And I can correlate that to podcasting and content creation too. Like, go ahead and talk about Child's Play for the 700th time. Like, literally, there's 3 million podcasts out there talking about Child's Play, and all of them are saying the same things. All of them are opinion based. None of them are fact based. There's no value. So I think that's, if there's no value in the project you're putting forth, if it's a hollow thing that you're just doing, when there are people really trying to stick value into everything they're doing, so then that way their audience. Now, I think the best way to combat that in any scenario is to remember to remain focused on your audience, who's following, who's doing. You can always grow your community, you can always grow your audience, whatever. But if you don't stay focused to them and you're always trying to grasp more, it's going to drive you fucking crazy, and you are going to produce terrible shit. If your main goal getting in is to make sure that this pays the bills, I ask you, what industry has ever been like that? Unless you are coming out of an industry, you are the children and heirs to that industry. Nobody who started with nothing to build it didn't bust their ass, you know. And if you're not busting your ass, it's going to show, and that does happen quite a bit. And that pisses me off. I mean, I think we got more into the philosophical, existential side of what pisses you off. Like we started with yeah, I hate the way fat people are portrayed in movies.
But I mean, but you know what it is, though, just because we're in the whole podcasting thing, and I do want to say one more thing about just real quick to I guess to get, so we can go into the movie stuff, is I do feel with some podcasters, though, like you're saying, how they get into it, it's like, the money, the fame, the glitz and glamour and all that stuff. And I do feel people do legitimately go into it and try to make it a business, but then they see how much work it is and how tough it actually is to do this and get the numbers and all that. And this is, you got to think about this, people. This is without any backing. This is indie, so you don't have any back. This is all you, word to mouth, friends that may share your stuff. It's all, that's how it starts. That's how it starts.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying you can't make money, because you can, but I'm not rich off of this. I made money 1 or 2 times off of this from ads, but I love it. And I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to be successful at this. I know that for a fact. It's going to happen, but it's you can't quit. If you really want to do something, you cannot quit. If you want to make this a business, you can't quit because you're not getting the numbers and all this attention that you want. It takes time to build. Remember, it's easy. It's easy to destroy something, right? Like, think about it like this. If you put together a 5,000 piece puzzle, right? That's going to take you some time, right? Right. How quick would it be to destroy that puzzle? 5 seconds. And then to put it back together, that's going to take you some time again. Like,
I'm gonna say something because it's very controversial to what Sturdy's saying. I gotta cut you off, Sturdy, because I gotta tell you this, and I gotta tell everybody else this. All right, quit. Stop doing it. Quit. You're not made for this. You're bad at it. Stop doing it. Okay. Wait a second. Okay, everybody. Now, everybody who's pissed off about that and tuned out, I'm gonna tell you this. If me telling you to quit made you pissed, and you're like, no, fuck this guy, and you're gonna go out and do it, good on you, keep going. And all the ones that left already and are pissed off, whatever. That's almost how you have to handle anything. It's the same with the film industry. That's like an old Kevin Smith trick. Like, whenever somebody would ask him back in the day, should I be a filmmaker? He'd say no, because the people who are going to be pissed and fight for it and just say, fuck this guy, I'm going to go do it, become filmmakers, and they're the right people to do it. But the people who just quit, all right, well, we got rid of you. Like you're out. Like,
that's a good point.
Because you were going to quit anyway. It didn't take this filmmaker, and he pointed out, he's like, what's my fucking opinion? And I'll say it about me. What's my opinion? I run the Scene Snobs. I don't give a shit what you do, Joe Schmo. Like you said, if people are copying you, and again, people are always going to have similar shows. People are going to talk about similar shit all the time. But if people are copying you straight out, and that's happened to me quite a bit in the past, it fucking sucks. It sucks, and they should be called out for it. I do believe, because you're blatantly doing so. You're trying.
Yeah.
But now I realize, call them out. But at the same time, the only way you're going to truly combat that in any way is just to be better. Just be a better version of everything. Like, get better, keep going, keep pushing. Anybody who copies you is incapable of that.
And no, you're absolutely right about that with the whole, people copied and all that. And it's like, I understand. I understand. People are just like, I don't agree with the whole copy and paste the whole damn show. I understand borrowing some ideas. I get that, because everybody does that. Borrowing some ideas, not copy. Like, okay, let me see. This is what the Scene Snobs do. I got to do the exact same thing just tomorrow. Or, as a matter of fact, because they put it out, I'm going to do it the day before they do it. So it looks like I came up with it. But it's not going to be as good. It's not going to be as good. You do your own shit, and I say personalities because I've seen people try to copy personalities and it's just not them. It doesn't work. And then you fuck shit up, you drop your show or whatever. So I agree with Mick. If you think this is too tough, if you think you can't handle it, quit.
But that's anything, like, because I again, like, coming into it, I would like to ask you too. Well, first, let me get to one point. Like, again, the controversial side of it, like, even with the filmmaking, like, I have a lot of controversial feelings toward, and again, people might be going, is that really controversial? It is in the industry. People will get annoyed by it, but you were talking about indie, right? We all have patrons. We all have this. Crowdfunding is perfectly fine for me. But I do think crowdfunding is a hard crutch when it comes to indie filmmakers, because you're losing out on a valuable piece of knowledge that could be, if you can master it, it would be monumental for your career in the film industry. And that is the pitch, and that is pitching people to try and get money, try and get jobs, try and get this, that, if you don't know how to pitch, and there are not a lot of people who know that art form, a pitch is an art form, and if you can sell it and you can do it, like, and it really takes a lot of passion to do it. It takes a lot of charm, takes a lot of, and but it's something you got to do if you want to work in the industry. If you want to be an actor who's going to be remembered at a casting, you need to be charming as fuck when you walk in that room. I understand nervous. I get it. I've been on there. I've been in front of those cameras. I've talked to those directors, and I've been on the other side of it too. So it's crazy. And when you get out there, you have to be able to do it though. And I feel like with these crowdfunders, yeah, it's very easy to post online, but you're losing the pitch. Now, not everybody. I've seen a lot of really good pitch artists or filmmakers who could make really good pitch artists pitching for their crowdfunders, and they're out there and they're doing it, and they get other money and stuff too. But seriously, like, if you're just going to keep asking the same people, it's tapping the same well. How many times are you going to ask all your friends on Facebook for money?
Yeah.
And if it's movie number 5 and literally it's everybody from Facebook giving you money and it's going down each time, you're going to fail. You're going to fail at this. You got to get the pitch. You got to go sell people who have money and be like, I'm making a movie. This is what we're doing. This is what we've done. This is the movies I've made before. Blah, blah, blah. What is it? Like, we're looking for funding. Get your butts out there. Really do it. And again, that's not everybody. That's not a standard. I've seen a lot of great indie filmmakers who know how to pitch, who know how to sell, who know how to fundraise. And it's not all crowdfunding. And crowdfunding sometimes plays a part. It's important. I get it. But goddamn, like, I do feel like this film industry is going to be very different in the future, and it's going to suffer a lot of stuff.
Really? Because is crowdfunding going to be a big part of that, or you just think just in general?
No, I think that's going to get tiring. I mean, listen, groceries go up constantly. Gas goes up constantly.
Everything.
The American households, their pay ain't going up, and
not as much as it should be.
The American people are getting real tired of paying for things that they're seeing absolutely no return on. Now, the nice part is, like, with us, there is a return. Like, if people are supporting us, they're supporting, and we are doing our best to give them, sometimes it's merch, but for the most part, it's the content. And that's what they're buying into. They like us. It's just like when you buy into a streaming service, you're buying into us. Biggest point in that is you have filmmakers who it's very hard to get a return on investment in this industry anyway. Hollywood and distribution companies will fuck you out of everything. You'll almost never see a return unless you work in the industry. And that's where I see a lot of people not willing to play by the rules. Look at what's his name? I posted on the thing yesterday on our chat. Damien from Terrifier 3. The story around the campfire right now, and I don't know if it's true. I'm not going to substantiate anything. I'm just going off of what I read, and I read the article that was with that, and it seems like Hollywood came a knocking after they made $5 million after the last Terrifier 2. He made a scene that arguably he even said he thought he should cut. It was so wildly disturbing, grotesque, and controversial. And Hollywood pulled their funding, and he had to get crowdfunding. That's a big movie. It sells itself. People are going to crowdfund it so that way they can be a part of it. I can talk about that for days. And it doesn't really pertain to those set of films, but, like, I'm not a huge fan of sequels in the indie world, but that's just me. That's a different philosophy, say, for a different episode. But I get why mainstream does it, but that's the reason we should be different from the mainstream. We should be making horror movies that are standalone and scary in the indie world, not doing what they're doing in the mainstream that we get so pissed off about, and then we get terrible sequels. now it's almost in a weird way, like we get A24 producing standalone mainstream horror movies that are scary and they work and they're good stories, and we're getting indie world where fuck, I can see some character I've never seen before in my life come back for the 5th time. I almost respect people who remake their movies more than people who make sequels to their movies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please. I want to hear yours.
I was gonna say, for me, it makes sense, but I do love the sequels. Like, just because we're talking Terrifier, like I feel, especially for a slasher like that, I don't mind a few sequels, but I'm hoping they do no more than say like 4 or 5, just because I know how that road goes. Like, let's see how good part 3 is. If they end it there, cool. If they want to do 1 or 2 more, cool. It's just, my favorite franchise, Friday the 13th. It gets watered down at times. I understand that. I get it, and I don't want to see that for Terrifier. And I do agree. Like, I do want to see what this team can do, and I've seen them do like other things and stuff like that. But like, besides Art the Clown, you know what I mean? Like a psychological horror, anything. And I know they will. I'm sure they will down the road. I get why they're doing this. While it's hot. I get it. While it's hot, do it. But the thing I disagree on is I don't mind sequels if it's good, if it's done right. And I did enjoy Terrifier 2 more than 1, and I'm hoping 3 is better than 2. But it's one of those weird things too, where it's like with this thing with if the things are 100% facts, 100% true with that, it's like Hollywood backed out because they said the scene was too much or whatever. But it's like, say it gets backed by indie again, it gets a bigger budget, and they let this scene go through. What's the right way? What's the right route?
The right way. And again, I'm not saying that at all. Like, there's artistic expression, and this is what these guys do. These guys are going for grotesque, truly shocking. That's the type of filmmakers they are. And for me, it's like you have this character that's really working, right? And it's pushing forward, and it's hitting the ground running. You went to Hollywood, your artistic expression was, I want to keep this scene. Hollywood's like, fine, we're pulling funding. That is perfectly fine. I got no problem with that. And they're going to do it. And I hope they make their money back and then some, double, triple, whatever. I hope they make a ton of money because they built a character that's popular. It's popular in the horror genre. And I don't want to, and if it's a good movie, regardless of how shocking it is, because that's the one thing, I don't like the shocking stuff. I especially don't like all the brutality, and that's just my personal feeling. I'm not saying it shouldn't exist. I'm just saying I don't personally like it in horror movies. But I will say, when it comes to Terrifier, they were good stories, and I really appreciated that. I was like, this isn't just a bunch of guys who are getting together and saying, how fucking shocking can we be?
Mm-hmm.
Actually told good stories, and the stories have gotten better in the following movies.
Exactly.
And they're putting it to it. So like, that's why I have a lot of respect for him. What really bums me out from the filmmaking side, having worked in both sides of it, working in the industry and for the studios and such, and working independent, is this that Damien says he's really interested in possibly directing, or he would like to direct a Friday the 13th movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a perfect fit. I think if you're going to breathe new life into Friday the 13th, this guy is great. He tells great stories. Now, I don't think he should or can go as shocking with Friday the 13th because there's a base, and Jason is looked on by little kids too. So it can't be on the same level as Art the Clown. Because I'm sorry, if you have little kids dressing up as Jason for Halloween, it is what it is. That's what Jason has become. Now, can you get dark? Yeah, we've seen it in the remake and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think you could be as grotesque as you are in the Terrifier films with Friday the 13th. And I think that's smart for marketing from the studios. So because you weren't willing to play, that sometimes will cost you in the industry, and he probably won't get Friday the 13th. I hope this movie smashes out of the park and they still give it to him. But I hope when he gets it, just to finish the last point, I hope when he does get it, he's willing to at least play by the rules of the studio.
And my feeling with that, though, is my opinion on this. I don't know, again, if this is 100% true. I feel maybe it's like, with Friday the 13th, he'd probably play by the rules because it's not his story. Mm-hmm. But this is his story, his baby. It's like, I don't know. But it could be one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to let you guys handcuff me for something that I created. Not only did I create from All Hallows Eve and then made the Terrifier film and then Terrifier 2 with the crowdfunding and all, with both films with the crowdfunding and all that, and made so much, got into theaters, did so freaking much amazing things for an independent movie. And now Hollywood's like, oh my God, these guys are great. Let's go back them. And then, it's like, we'll back them. And again, this is just off of a rumor. Don't know. This is not facts by either one of us. Don't come at us. Well, you can come at me. I don't care. But it's like, okay, Let's bring them in. Okay, great. You guys did so great. You guys did amazing with what you did. All this attention. Oh, let me see that. Oh no, you got to change this. Oh no, you got to change this. It's almost like they're making them, again, going off of what we know, going off of what is rumored. Sorry, making them change to be more too Hollywood and that too like. No, that's not what us fans of Terrifier. I love the gory horror movie, and that's what Art the Clown gives you. That's what Terrifier gives you, and you don't want to take that away. That's one thing that I feel like Hollywood messes up with certain things is you take away from that creative mind that made this beautiful masterpiece. You take that away and throw your Hollywood stuff on it. And then it's like, okay, let me throw Hollywood all over it. Let me make it a little bit like this movie, this movie, this movie, and this movie. Then when you guys make the sequel, we'll make it like this one, this one, this one, and this one. It's like, no, let's be different. Yes, it's a slasher. Yes, it may borrow some ideas from other things, but let it be different. Let it be its own thing. And honestly, I hope in a sense, I hope the rumors are true. And like you're saying, I hope it smashes and just shows Hollywood the big F you. Like, look, we do not need you. You need us more than you act, more than you think. Because if all the creatives leave Hollywood.
Disagree with that. I disagree with that statement personally. I don't think the studio needs independent filmmakers. I also don't think that independent filmmakers need the Hollywood industry. That's all.
Independent. I don't mean independent. I mean as far as the creative minds in general. The creative minds that work for Hollywood, you know what I mean? That kind of get screwed over when they're like, no, change. I mean those minds. I don't mean the studios. I don't mean the big pockets. Because you're just kind of empty studios and a bunch of rich people trying to come up with stuff that don't know anything. Oh, let me throw money at this. Oh, let the creatives be creative.
Well, let me pose a question to you because we're kind of winding down on a topic. I want to get to my mixed movie pick for this week. But so you run horror with Sir Sturdy. So say this becomes a part of this industry, something huge. It starts raking in. People love it. You're independent. You're doing your thing. You become a household name. People are loving Sir Sturdy, right? And you have such a huge base. Now the studios come to you and they say, listen, we're going to send you screeners. We're going to want you to go out to review at red carpets and interview and all this stuff. You're doing it. You'd be dumb not to. It's contracts. You're getting your money and you're doing all this stuff. You're getting bigger and bigger. Finally, studios come in, listen to Sirius XM or whatever. Hey, we want Harvester Sturdy. We want you to be our Thursday night show, whatever such. We're going to pay you this amount. We're going to run the show. We're producing it. We basically want the same thing we've always wanted. You guys, you're killing it. You got this base. You get there, and they're like, we want you to cut this segment. And it's like one of your favorite segments. It could be, we don't want you to rate that way. We don't want you to do this. And it's little changes that come in. Now, I stand by the integrity of creating. But my feelings are like, if you want to be in the industry, though, if you want to be independent, stick to it.
I get it.
If you want to be in the industry and you want to move forward with it or be up here or do this, sometimes you got to pay to play. Like even... Yeah, you see a lot of these YouTube stars, like they all do the same thing. And it sucks. I'm not saying it's the right way to be. I'm not saying it, but it's an order to the industries that, again, going back to my original statement of like almost like the gatekeeping. You can't let everybody be famous or fame wouldn't mean anything.
Absolutely not. But I do feel like when it comes to that type of stuff, you need to make sure you're not selling yourself and not like making sure the show is it still feels like this is my show. This is me. This is still Sturdy. If it doesn't feel like that, no, I'm not signing anything. I'm not doing that. I'll stay independent. As far as that, I'm just saying in that scenario, because I also look at it like this is the stuff that got me here. And this is the stuff that keeps me growing is the stuff that I do. I'm not saying I wouldn't tweak things here and there. I'm not saying, like, say if I was on a radio interview, I wouldn't clean my language up, because I would, of course. But when I'm on my show doing my thing, I'm gonna do my show my way, because it's what got me here. It's what got you guys to actually look at me. And I also know that, like, if you're offering me this, more than what you're offering me. So it's a weird thing, because it's one of those things where it's like, I know some people will say, like, how would you know what you would do? You've never been in this situation. But I also know, like, I know my passion and I know things that I care about. And I know if I were to say, quote unquote, let's just, because with the whole Terrifier, if they're like, hey, Sturdy, we need you to cut this from your show, I'm not going to do it, because now you're pulling me from my show and putting you in my show.
Yeah. And that's,
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it personally. Like there's
I
there's
love
certain
that.
things, there's certain things, and I know like there's certain scenarios, certain things. Like people ask you, you know, how people ask you the dumb question, do you do this for X amount of money? I'm like, no, you really no. I have certain morals. Money is an important tool, yes, to me. Like money is very important as far as, you know, taking care of the household, taking care of bills, and all that other stuff. Which yes, I'd love to have an abundance of it, so I can just take care of that. I wouldn't have to worry. But at the same time, it's not worth more than my morals.
And I love that, and I agree, and I feel like I'm the same way, you know, with mine and what I'm creating, and I don't even mind the people who are just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll make the changes,
Oh,
whatever,
I don't
fine,
mind that either.
and or make it linked with a producer or something who has
Mhm.
different take, and that's sort of my point. Kind of finish out this topic is and I love to hear your take on it too, but is to each their own. That's fine. My only feelings are if you decide on that moral integrity, you know, and sticking with it, and this is my show and this is what I'm going to do,
Mhm.
then when you don't get the dream project down the line, or somebody who is maybe less of a caliber but did take that road and now they're doing bigger,
Mhm.
that's when we need to like kind of shut our mouths. It's like you pay to play. And that's where
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, especially in the film industry. It's like it's easy to bitch at how everyone's doing this thing when you're not willing to take the step to go that way. And if you
Mhm.
don't want to take the step to go that way and you want to stick down this path, then you gotta let that go.
Agreed.
You're not in that industry now. So that's not your industry to compete with. You're not in it. You chose this path.
Mhm.
This path harder. This path has the moral integrity. This path is going to take longer to get anywhere. But if that's the path you chose, then fine.
Mhm.
And you can always come up with feelings down the line, but you got to stop with the competition. I'm not competing with Mr. Beast because I'm not on that level.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
I'm
So I have no feelings towards that. My only feelings are I chose this path. This is where I'm going. I know what I'm going for. And that's what I feel like we're missing in a lot of these industries is the ego. Is there's too much ego in it.
Yeah, there really is. And I mean, going back to just us sharing, bouncing off ideas and using each other's ideas and all that other stuff shows you right there where our ego stands. Like, oh no, I can't do this because rah, rah, rah. Like you could easily, here's a great example. You could easily, like say you're the industry, you have the bigger numbers right now, right? And I'm the independent. You could easily just, no, I'm not working with these guys. They only have this, they only have, but you don't, which is a great thing. And that right there, like the whole ego thing that people say, the whole male ego. Not saying
Yeah.
we don't have egos, but there's a time and a place and all that. Everybody should have some sort of an ego. You should all be, you know what I mean? But not that toxic kind of ego. You guys know what I mean? Men, women, everybody should have an ego.
The only
Too
thing
many
I like what you're saying. The only thing I would change it to is I don't think we need ego,
confident.
but I do think we definitely need confidence, but I think we need more arrogance. And it's
There
got to
you
be
go.
a controlled arrogance.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. It's Tuesday night. I'm the scene snob. I'm gonna make you smile. I'm gonna make you laugh. We're gonna talk. We're gonna have a good time. And I know I can do that. Like that type of arrogance, like because I know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm capable of. And it is a confident type of arrogance. But I'm not going to be in your face and be like, but I'm better than you and I'm better than you. And then because then you're putting the ego in it. And it's like that's just too much.
Oh, that I agree with, but I will say you can't be me better than I can be me. You can't do my show better than I can do my show. And if that's ego, then that's ego to an extent. But that's what I mean by that.
I
But
think that's an arrogance. I think that's a
oh, well,
form of arrogance. I'm saying like
okay.
because I don't think you're saying I'm better than everyone
I'm not better than anybody.
or I'm
Nobody's
the
better than
only
anybody in this
one.
world.
But that's what I mean. Like, so then it would be more egotistical to say I'm better than everyone. It would even be arrogant to say that, but your level of
I get
arrogance is I'm the best at being me and I know what I can bring to the table.
yeah,
So it's like a
yes.
confident arrogance that I realize, and that's what I think everybody should strive for, and it helps, you know, in everything in life. I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking
Mhm.
about everything in life. Have that sort of confident arrogance in yourself to be able to be like, yeah, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to fucking kill it because I know what I'm doing.
Exactly. You really should. You really need that arrogance, that confidence in, like you're saying, in anything in life, a job interview, anything, because if not, you're not going to be successful at anything because you're going to be too scared to do anything.
Yeah.
Go
Legit.
out there and get it. Go out there and get it. And listen, if you want to be a content creator and you want to make it a business, do it. Take it serious. Bust your ass at it. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be long. And if you have to work a 9 to 5 too, figure it out. I do it. Seriously, figure it out. It's tough, but I fucking love this stuff. I really, really love like this. Besides like people that are personally close to me, family and friends, this is like my happy place. Besides the stuff that you guys know off the scenes with the, you know, this makes me happy. This brings me joy, and I want this joy to be my, you know what I mean, for lack of a better term, my 9 to 5, whatever you want to call it, but to the point to where not to be even rich and famous. Like I would be happy enough if, you know what I mean, I can me and my wife can leave our jobs, and this was what was paying the bills, and then some, of course. Again, I don't have to be rich and famous, but just because I have so much passion in it. I know she has other passions and things. Like that's my goal with this. I don't have to be the richest. I don't have to be, because
You want freedom.
it's exactly.
Ultimately, you just want freedom. You want freedom to be able to do stuff and get it. And I get it.
Exactly. Hit up these cons, do dope stuff with Mick, all that fun stuff. And working on it. Working on it, people.
But I want to say, this is where I'm gonna kind of end things here. We're gonna go on. I'm gonna do my mixed movie pick, but I want to thank you, Horrors Are Sturdy. We talked a lot about where our show is. The links are down below. Make sure you go check it out. Make sure you go check out Popcorn and Pints. Always a fun time. Thank you so much, Sturdy, for coming on. You're awesome, man. I truly appreciate you.
Anytime, man. I love this. Greatly appreciate you too. And I do want to say this to you people. Listen to this. You need to start paying more attention to the Scene Snobs, Horrors Are Sturdy, Popcorn and Pints, Three Geeks, and Worst Damn Gamer. Because we've been talking behind the scenes about some stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. We got some stuff coming.
We got some stuff coming. Definitely. We're always looking to expand with other great shows and stuff like that as well. So keep that in mind.
One last thing. Like I've told you guys before, I'm going to be with a team, and it's these guys, stronger than the Avengers.
Not physically though. My knees don't work as much anymore.
Chris can be the Hulk.
I'll let him be the Hulk. I'll take it. I'm gonna be, I don't know, I'm gonna be Black Widow. I'm just gonna chill out.
All the time.
I know. I'm gonna Nick Fury. I'm just gonna be in charge. I'm just gonna go with that because then I don't have to do much. But guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you, Sturdy. I'm gonna let you go now, and then we'll do the mixed movie pick and we'll close out. All right, everybody. Thank you again, guys. It's mixed movie pick time. That's right. I choose because I'm on vacation. I went with it, and I'm going with something a little bit more controversial and different because we've talked about controversy this whole episode. I'm gonna go with the TV show. That's right. I'm going with the brand new 2023, just came out last month, Fall of the House of Usher. It's done by Mike Flanagan. It was for Netflix, one of his last projects on Netflix. It's a series. It's about 7 episodes. And honestly, it's one of the best shows I've ever seen. It is a great adaptation of so much Edgar Allan Poe, not just The Fall of the House of Usher, but everything. And it is a great story all the way throughout. Bruce Greenwood, Carla Gugino, everyone is truly fantastic in this movie. He has a whole stable of characters, of actors that come in and play great characters in all of his stuff. So go check this out if you haven't. Fall of the House of Usher. It plays like one long giant movie. That's why I think that I'm expanding a little bit more. Plus, I'm binging right now because I'm on vacation. But go check them out. Thank you guys so much for joining in. I'm Mick Manhattan from The Scene Snobs. This is the Scene Snobs podcast. You can check out this and other great shows all over any podcast platform, but especially over here on our YouTube channel. We call it the Scene Snobs channel. Make sure to hit like, make sure to hit subscribe, because we are going to be having more great shows come out. This is episode 302. Thank you guys again. If you guys are interested, go check out our sponsor of this video, StubHub. Our affiliate link is down below. They are great. We got our Taylor Swift tickets on there when we went this year. We got other tickets on there. We go to games, concerts, all this stuff all the time in the area. Never had an issue with StubHub. I'm thinking about getting tickets for Green Day coming up in Nationals Park. I can't wait, and I'm going to go to StubHub. Go down in the affiliate link below. Thanks again, guys. Thank you for hitting like, subscribe. Thank you for buying the merch. Thank you for doing everything and all of that jazz. You guys are amazing. I love you, Snobs Nation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember to be kind, stay classy, and take care of yourselves because it's important.